So, in my opinion, most of the North American cities don't have a really great transit system. For example, Toronto. I live in Toronto, and I'm pretty sure to tell you that Toronto doesn't have a very good transit system. There are a lot of problems within our transit system, and one very obvious example is until now we still haven't fully adopted a reloadable payment card system. It's that card you can reload your money and you can tap it at all the fare gate on your bus tap readers and you can pay your fare. But in Toronto, this year, which is year 2017, is actually the first year we fully implemented that technologies, that kind of reader system. Before that, we're using something called tokens and Metro Pass, and that is very, very bad, poor experience. And these kind of details really makes a huge difference. Imagine in my home country, which is China, we already can use your smartphone, use your NFC part of your smartphone, and tap on the readers on the bus or in the fare gate of all the subway station, and then get direct access and pay your fare, and you just go in. And that is super cool, right? And these kind of difference is really making the North America transit is not good. And in many Asian countries, you probably know Asian city like Tokyo, like Osaka, many Japanese city like Hong Kong, China, like Shanghai and Beijing. We both have a very, very great, huge transit network. And why is transit network so great in Asian country, why not in North America? Because the first thing is majority of Asian city has huge populations, and the public transit is just the foundation of the city. Without a proper public transit systems, the city would not running at all. So the transit systems carries around millions. In Shanghai every day, the transit system carry around 6 to 8 millions of passengers every day. And that is just an incredible amount if you compare it to a lot of North American city. So in most of the Asian city, due to the high populations, we have, and it's kind of the public transit. It's a necessity for every city. Even a huge public transit system is a necessity for a city, and that is why we build a lot of city infrastructures and make sure that it carries more passengers, maximize the passengers' capacity. But in North America, it's not that case, because in order to really build a new subway lines, here's the thing. In Toronto, we only have 4 subway lines, and 2 of them are extremely short, and so basically there's only 2 major subway lines here, and the 5th subway line is scheduled to be finished built in the year 2021, which is 4 years later. So pretty much in the recent 5 years, at least in the next 5 years, we still have to suffer the situation of only have 4 subway lines. And it's not good at all. Why? Because every mayor comes to the stage, they talk about and giving out a plan, and then we discuss it, we're debating, and the city hall and all the people is just discussing and debating. Some people like this plan, some people do not like this plan, and they voted again and again, and eventually, after a very, very long time, and finally it may be passed, and we started to really build it, and eventually a new mayor come on the stage and say, oh, the previous plan is wrong, and they started again. And this process has happened again and again and again. So we're spending huge amount of time on thinking, on planning, on debating, on battling with each others, and we just not starting doing some physical work. We doesn't create any physical things. So ultimately, the citizen, the resident could not enjoy the benefits at all, and we're just watching these kind of battle, conversation, talking every day on the television without seeing, without experience any physical benefits. So that is why the transit system is a mess here in North America. But I'm not saying some city did a pretty great job, like New York City, because they built their subway system very early, and they have an pretty great system. Like they have express road network, they have express subway system, they have local subway system, And for every subway line, you can see there's 4 rail track, 2 for the express rail and 2 for the local rail. And that is just a fantastic idea. They planned it out early, and now when the population's growth, that it fits their passengers' demand. So I think New York City did a fantastic job on that. But other than New York City, I don't think any other city did an amazing job on that. And also, if you consider that we don't have funds in Toronto here, our Toronto Transit Commission is really stuck because a lack of funds from the government, from the provincial government, from the city government, and it just does not work. If we don't have money, even how great your idea is, how great the thinking goes, how great the planning went, it all stuck because none of the funds, no money. So it won't actually start it. So pretty much in Toronto right now, we have to wait until our Line 5 system coming up, which is finished construction in year 2021, and then we can just continue building something. But in China, this is the case. If you want to build a subway line, you pretty much, the city government just submitted to the head government here in China, and then it got approved. Okay, then just start build it. And in China, we don't have the idea of weekend. Weekend is still a work day for many people. Weekend is still a work day for many people. So all these workers and engineers would just build throughout the weekend. They build things every day. So we can finish building a subway line under 2 to 3 years, and that is very possible. In Canada, here in Toronto, you have winter, and winter is cold, it's snowing, you cannot build something, and you have to have weekend you need to take a break. So there's not a lot of time actually, it's working hours. So that is why things got built pretty slowly. We built a subway line usually costs around 5 to 10 years, and that is a lot of time compared to China. And in China, we can build 3 lines simultaneously at the same time. We can build 3 subway lines at the same time because we have enough funds. Probably the city government have enough funds so they can build 3 lines simultaneously and at the same time. But in Canada, it is probably impossible because the government can only afford to build 1 line at a time. So pretty much they have to finish this line and wait for 10 years to start building the next line. So these kind of things really makes the whole system very inefficient. So I mean, the transit is a big thing because I always believe in the future where everyone not driving to work, they take public transit, which public transit is actually much faster, much comfortable, and much reliable than their own driving car. And I think these kind of future is what I expected, and I want to be an urban planner in the future, and that is why I choose urban planning program in university, because I always believe a better transit is good for everyone. But it seems like our government doesn't get the idea of how important the public transit is. They just don't care about building a great transit. So yeah, that is my thought today. I really want to say, please start building a better, a more reliable public transit network, because that is the foundation, it's the blood of the city, because it moves people from place to place. If a public transit system goes bad, the city pretty much is not going to function well. So yeah, that's what I want to say. And thank you everyone. Have a great night. Bye.